Earthquakes are rattling the eastern Mediterranean today. Magnitude 4.4 over the Euphrates, 4.6 over just now south of Istanbul, and 4.4 in the area of Carpathos. All three areas have been having quake swarms at these locations. Let's take a look at them together on the maps. As you can see, the quake swarms, this is the one that was Euphrates Tigris River. Quake swarms, 4.4, 10 kilometers depth today. This is so far out, I would doubt anyone would have the knowledge to report this to USGS. And then we have the Carpathos quake swarm, as you can see here. That's an island just off the coast of Turkey. And again, nobody would have the knowledge of reporting this to USGS. And just now, the past hour, it was red, it turned blue. Okay, 4.6 south of Istanbul in Turkey. Okay, that's the Bosporus right there. Very populated area. This is near Izmit and very populated. Let's see the aerial and the population density, as you can see. There we go. Okay, and this is the area of the Bosphorus Strait, and that is Sea of Marianas, and that is the strait from Istanbul going through to the Black Sea. And that's very populated there. It's turned black, as you can see there. And these were all three areas of quake swarms. Okay, that's Carpathos right there. And that's Cyprus. This is the area of the Euphrates Tigris River. This is the area that we had the 4.4, and there's quake swarms here, quake swarms here, quake swarms here. And they're ongoing. This is the whole area of, it's interconnected, as you can see. This is the African plate pressing north, closing up the Mediterranean Sea, closing north, and of course the Arabian plate here on this side, the Eurasian plate here. 4.4 Carpathos. Well, let's take that, but it's basically the same information that they'll give us. Right there, Antalya is there, Rhodes is there, that's Carpathos right there. That's the island of Rhodes that sometimes I refer to, that sank around the time of Atlantis sinking. Atlantis went down, stayed down, but Rhodes came back up again at that time. That's what the Greek mythology and ancient Greeks tell us of. Now, the tectonic summary, this is an area that moves very, very much every year. The Mediterranean region is seismically active due to the northward convergence, north 4 to 10 millimeters a year of the African plate. With respect to the Eurasian plate, along a complex plate boundary, the convergence began about 50 million years ago and was associated with the closure of the Tethys Sea, today's Mediterranean Sea right here. The modern day remnant of Tethys is the Mediterranean Sea. The highest rate of seismicity in the Mediterranean region are found along the Hellenic subduction arc right there of southern Greece, along the North Anatolian fault zone of western Turkey. That's what we had here. Okay, if we go back to our, just take it off a little bit. Okay, that's Anatolia, Turkey, and that's the Hellenic arc. As you can see, that's where most of the quakes are. Okay, now going back to this. And the Calabrian subduction zone of southern Italy, right there. Local high rates of conversion at the Hellenic subduction zone are 35 millimeters a year, so that's pretty fast. And they're associated with back arc spreading throughout Greece and western Turkey. That's western Turkey. Above the subducting Mediterranean oceanic crust, crustal normal faulting throughout the region is a manifestation of extensional tectonics associated with back arc spreading. The region of the Marmara Sea, as we said, that area that goes through Istanbul into the Black Sea, is a transition zone between this extensional regime to the west and the strike-slip regime of the Northern Anatolia Fault to the east. The Northern Anatolia Fault accommodates much of the right lateral horizontal motion 23 to 24 millimeters a year between the Anatolian microplate and Eurasian plate, as the Anatolian microplate is being pushed westward to further accommodate closure of the Mediterranean basin caused by the collision of the African and Arabian plates in southeastern Turkey. Subduction of the Mediterranean seafloor beneath the Tyrrhenian Sea of Italy at the Calabrian subduction zone causes a significant zone of seismicity around Sicily and southern Italy. Active volcanoes are located above intermediate depth earthquakes in the Cyclades of the Aegean Sea and in southern Italy. In the Mediterranean region, there's a written record several centuries long documenting pre-industrial seismicity. That's before the 20th century. Earthquakes have historically caused widespread damage across central and southern Greece, and they go into that as well. Now, the thing is, though, let's go back to the aerial. Of course, the tectonics. Okay, this is where we have our tectonics, and as you can see here, okay, and let's take off the population so that you can see seismicity. Okay, this thing here, that's the Anatolia Fault, right here. And you can see the crack in the earth very well, nicely, right there, right there, right there. And it goes down this way, many times hitting Attica and Athens. Okay, and these are the volcanic islands around here. Nisyros is a volcanic island, so is Milos. And Santorini, of course. And, of course, the volcanoes of Italy. So this is the situation here. They're starting again, as you can see, and there were quake swarms. Quake swarms. This one here is almost as much as we had in eastern Turkey over the Tigris. Yeah, it's just that they take them off, but there were quite a few. They take them off. They don't have all the pins there. So this is the situation, and if you remember, when we talked about this yesterday, we uploaded the video on the earthquakes in Newfoundland and in Virginia. We saw that the pressure was going along here to the west, and then we even saw earthquakes around here. And in the Azores are volcanic islands belonging to Portugal. And then we said, oh, that distance is from Turkey is 3,500 miles, whereas the Azores are only 1,500 miles to the east coast. And we were wondering if we would have pressure on the east coast causing earthquakes, and we did get them. And this is the cracks here, as you can see, it's like a T shape. This is the North American plate, the tectonic plate. This is the African plate. And this is the Eurasian plate. Right there, and that's where the Azores are found, and that's why I guess the pressure was very easy to get there and shake that up. And then we got it into, okay, there we go, before they take these pins off. Okay, here we are, they took one of them off already, they start taking them off. Okay, so the Labrador, the Newfoundland area, 4.3, and we had another one here, which was even bigger. Where is it? This is the Canadian earthquake map. Okay, this is the Canadian map, and let's pan out a little bit. Okay, this is what we were looking at. This one here was 4.6 on February 2nd, and this one again, February 2nd, 3.1. Okay, so you can see that we did have, this was a little bit earlier, on the 30th of January, 3.3. So you see that we got, the Azores did hit the East Coast. It's just that they don't always put these, they don't always plot these on the USGS map, Seismo Berkeley that we use. But it did get pressure onto the East Coast. Now, of course, that's part of the New Madrid seismic zone. But anyway, this is what I wanted to show you today. That is quite active around here in the areas of quake swarms. And we seem to have an uptick in earthquake activity, which is normal because we're in a solar minimum. And whenever we have a solar minimum, we do have an uptick in earthquake activity and volcanic activity. And we also have extreme weather as well. I'll leave links below for you for this on Seismo Berkeley. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.